Hi, this is Sara, and I would like to show you about EFT. It's this handy tool that I've shared with a bunch of friends and people when they kind of mention, oh, I have this terrible headache, or my throat's really sore, or I'm so nervous about something. You can use this tool to really reduce physical pain or emotional anxiety or emotional stress in just about a minute. So the way that EFT works, it's you're going to say a phrase 3 times, and then you're going to stimulate these acupressure points by tapping on your body in 8 different points, 8 different places. And we start out by rating the problem on a scale of 1 to 10. So I'd say, okay, I have this splitting headache. Gosh, it's like a 7. It's pretty bad. And then I start the process. So I'm going to tap on my karate point here while I say, even though, and then whatever the problem is, even though I have this terrible splitting headache, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I have this terrible headache, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I have this terrible headache, I deeply and completely accept myself. Now you can say whatever the thing is, even though I'm so frustrated with my friend or my boss. Even though I'm just really stressed out because I feel like I have no time. Even though I'm nervous in front of a video camera. So just insert that into the, even though blankety blank blank, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, then the points that we're going to tap are here, beginning of the eyebrow, side of the eye, below the eye, below the nose, above the chin, collarbone area, and below the armpit, and top of the head. So for that part, all we do is we say what's wrong. We don't say the positive stuff. We just say, this is wrong, this is my problem. And you really kind of focus on what is the emotional truth about the problem. Sometimes when I've been doing this process, I start out tapping, and then about halfway I realize, oh, well, what's really true is that I'm just afraid of this. And so then I'll start the process. After I finish, I'll start the process and tap for that again. It feels like I'm uncovering layers and healing the layers of what the real issue is. So we've already tapped and said the phrase 3 times, even though blankety blank, I deeply and completely accept myself. Now we just do these 8 points. I have this terrible splitting headache. My head just really hurts. Terrible splitting headache. What you're going to want to do is tap 7 to 10 times, but you don't have to keep count. Just if you say the problem a couple times and think about it, you're going to cover the 7 to 10 taps. Side of the eye, even though I have this terrible headache. Oops, I have this terrible headache. My head's killing me. Below the eye, my head is just hurting so much. This terrible headache. Below the nose, I have this terrible headache. My head's just hurting and I can't even concentrate. Above the chin, I have this terrible headache. My head is really, really hurting. Just terrible. Collarbone area, my head is hurting. I have this terrible headache. Below the armpit, my head is just really hurting. I have this terrible headache. Top of the head, I have this terrible headache. My head is really hurting me. Now I'm going to rate it again and say, okay, let's see, wow, I went from a 7, still kind of hurts. Maybe now it's like a 3. So some people are just comfortable with that. Like, that's fine. But you can tap again and maybe bring it down to a 0. So I would say, even though my head still hurts, even though I still have remaining pain, I deeply and completely accept myself. So I'd say that 3 times. Remaining pain in my head still kind of hurts. So I go through all the 8 points, tapping 7 to 10 times, and then rate it. I can't explain why, it's called EFT, stands for Emotional Freedom Technique, but it seems to work on physical pain. I got a bee sting, and it was hurting so much. And I was with these kids, and for some reason I didn't want them to see how bad it was hurting from the bee sting, so I thought, well, I might as well try this tapping thing. I tapped, and immediately all the pain was just gone, and you're kind of afraid to even test it. I was photographing a wedding and talking with the bride, and she said, oh, everything's going well except my throat kind of hurts. And I said, do you want to try this? It's a little unusual, but it only takes about a minute. And she said, oh, sure. So we just went and tapped, and then we started talking about something else. And then she said, my throat doesn't hurt anymore. If you're trying this and you notice it's just not helping at all, one thing you could try that worked for my friend in Arkansas is we were tapping, and his headache just wasn't getting any better at all. So I said, why don't you try this? Even though this EFT thing is so stupid and it doesn't work, I deeply and completely accept myself. And so we tapped for how stupid it is, and Sarah's making me tap on my face. It's embarrassing. It's so stupid. And then after that, it always worked. So, yeah. So you can try that and use it and share it. Okay.